Oh, hey everybody, it's another edition of Drive Time with Turbo. Here we are today, yet another afternoon, coming to you pre-recorded today. However, folks, don't ever doubt that I'm not putting 110% into every single one of these just for you. Today, my co-host for today is... not exactly sure how to describe him, but we're going to figure it out. Personally trained musician. He is a saxophonist, somebody who is stunningly rare in this creative world of ours. Today, I welcome on the show Jason Whitmore.
Hey.
Guys.
Thank you.
Guys, I thought... No, listen, I thought we talked about this. Folks... I know. I said, guys, we can't keep doing this. It takes a lot of time out of the cast. Nobody wants to hear you cheer. Jason, how you doing today?
What's up, my buddy? How you doing?
Good.
This is cool. Nice setup you got here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very
I mean,
impressed.
there's a lot of work. I still haven't
Steam
the...
Yeah, I was going to mention that actually, but I didn't want to.
You don't want to embarrass me.
No.
No, okay.
But now that we're
I'm
on
still
the air.
growing. Well, I'm still growing. You are a formally trained musician.
Yes. Yeah. I've been playing the saxophone since I was 11. You know, I got started in just regular public school band program and kind of never stopped.
Let's talk about band for a minute.
Yeah.
I had to play the trombone. I wish I played the drums because I ended up in high school playing the drums, and we ended up playing like actual shows. So I feel like if I would have been pushed in the correct direction instead of that instrument looks cool in 6th grade, right? So how'd you choose the saxophone?
You know, it's funny because as much as I am passionate about it right now, that story is so not sexy. Like, it really was just about, so there's all the instruments you guys can play next year when you join band in 6th grade. Which one would you like? And I'm like, that one looks good. And that was pretty much the thought process. I didn't really have like any major musical influences. It just seemed cool at the time. It was a very like slow roll into when I really, really got interested in the instrument. I guess I just got lucky that I chose one that was going to stick with me.
Mm-hmm. You don't regret it, obviously.
Oh, hell no, it's my life.
Yeah. Do you have a name for your instrument?
No.
Aren't you supposed to? It's like a boat? Is that is that the way it's supposed to be? Or
yeah,
no?
right. Like no, I don't actually.
No boat. No boat name.
No boat names.
But
they are very dear to me. Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your formal training. I mean, did you go to you obviously did the high school thing?
Well, yeah. So I mean, I studied music all through school, and even though I grew up in a pretty small town, our high school music program was really advanced. It was very competitive. And in fact, I don't know if you knew this, but in high school, I was also in marching band. I was in the drum line, so I played a lot of drums. Which was a lot of fun.
Explain the difference between drumline and dance crew and cheerleading, and like how important like a drumline is to sports. I think people don't get that.
I mean, marching band to us, you know, music nerds, is kind of like a sport in itself. It's very physical. And the drum line, in my opinion, has always been like the star of the marching band. Yeah, that was the coolest part, you know. And it gets, you know, and our school, it was super, super competitive in Texas and Houston area where I grew up. And
you went to the University of Houston? I
went to University of Houston. Yeah, when I went to college, I went there and studied saxophone performance and, you know, played in like jazz group, and that was a great experience too.
So, just briefly tell me a little bit about Houston. I mean, I've been there. It's a great town. You have two little like skyrise areas, which is kind of frustrating. Like, where's downtown?
Yeah, downtown.
And we had Shoni on yesterday, and you know, we were in Houston there, and I didn't really point it out, but like, there's that Intercontinental, or the one that's like got the huge atrium that goes like 60 floors. What hotel is that?
Oh,
Do you remember?
is that the Galleria you're talking about? Like the
I'm
big...
not sure, but it was massive. And
Yeah.
like all the astronauts had stayed there, their families, when they were traveling from Florida to Mission Control to watch the stuff. And
Right.
How is was space a part of your life? And is Houston?
Yeah, I mean, Houston was great. It was.
Yeah, tell us about Houston.
Well, it
it
is a super metropolitan city. You know, I mean, very, very culturally diverse. You know, in the heart of the city, a lot going on, a lot of music, a lot of culture, a lot of everything. I grew up in a tiny podunk town, an hour outside of the city, so it was a very like little redneck area. So fortunately, music, and then it got and then living in the city when I was in college, kind of opened my eyes to a little bit more culture and diversity and the arts and everything.
University of Houston, is there anything else there? Rice is in
Rice. I lived like an hour away from Rice University. And that's a beautiful campus. That's a beautiful part of the city, by the way. So I was lucky enough to like live near there. The Montrose it's kind of like our Hillcrest. And there's like tons of culture, great food, great bars, great restaurants. And anyway, so that's where I lived when I lived in the city during school. And then my summers actually were spent in Galveston, which is the beach.
Oh yeah, that beach. It's like the PB to San Diego, right?
Kind of, yeah. We call it the Redneck Riviera. That's where.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, so my summers, I was a lifeguard. I would live, on the beach, in a house full of lifeguards, and we did that during the summer, and then I would move back into a house full of musicians during school, and so that was kind of my life in Texas until I finished college, and then I decided I needed to flee the nest and come out west.
So what brought you to California?
It just looked good on paper.
Me too, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Boulder. So, like, Houston and Boulder, like, why would you leave those towns? And people ask me that, and I'm sure they ask you that all the time. It's like, how do you leave such a great city? And the answer is maybe you need to come to San Diego.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just made sense. I was, because I was a lifeguard for a long time, I was kind of, that was my introductory to the whole beach culture, and I started surfing and traveling to surf because there's not a lot of great waves in the Gulf of Mexico.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
On a 2-footer.
On a wind-blown, like, knee-high day, you're, like, skipping school. You're doing everything you can just to get out and, get wet. But, no, so San Diego just made sense. It was definitely, like, in my crosshairs, and a buddy of mine and we were traveling at the time to Australia, as a matter of fact.
Oh, the West Coast is it the West Coast, the Gold Coast?
The Gold Coast. Yeah. That's where we live.
Well, what I mean is the Brisbane all the way down to Sydney.
Yes.
All that whole coast, specifically from the Gold Coast, folks. Gold Coast, Brisbane. Stay in Brisbane, travel to Gold Coast.
Yes.
Don't be that guy that wants to come into a beach town. But Gold Coast all the way to, I would say, just north of Sydney.
Yeah.
And that's like...
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
Like better. Do you think it's better than Hawaii? No. Nothing's better. Nothing.
Hawaii's it's just different. That's apples and oranges, I would say.
Okay.
But it's beautiful.
It's a good orange, though.
Yeah. It was a great time. It was a great period of my life. That was like my post college, travel, get that, out. And so when we were out there, my buddy and I were like, San Diego makes sense. There's beautiful girls, there's amazing weather, there's great surf all the time. Like, what's not to like? So that's all. That was the complete thought process, was that in a nutshell. Packed my car, drove to San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long you been in town?
25 years, something like that. Yeah, a while.
Well, you got me beat.
Yes.
Hell, you got Cassandra beat almost. She's 32, so you've almost lived here longer. I'm not going to age you, but let's talk about some of your before you got to San Diego. You had you talked about your formal education before. I want to get a little more specific. Do you think what you do, and I will share, folks, just okay, I'm going to show you what this guy does, but for right now, I need you to tell me someone who is 16, okay, may listen to this or whatever in the future, and they want to do what you do. And after they see what you do, which I'm going to show. And they want to aspire to that, or they want to aspire to like a first chair, second chair, or whatever. Is that a thing?
Yeah,
saxophone play,
of course,
or
of course.
G.E. Smith. Oh,
are you kidding?
Just hold on, one second. Let's table G.E. Smith for a minute.
All right.
Okay. What do you think? They got their inspiration somewhere. Doesn't matter. If they got it on this podcast, that's fantastic. I appreciate you. Please let us know. And remember, this is going to live forever. So this might be 20 years from now. Somebody's going to look back and go, look at Jason Whitmore. Look at how amazing this guy is.
Look at how young he looks there.
Oh, look at how amazing this guy looks. No, but so it's really important for like a 16-year-old to understand, what are some concrete steps? And I'm not like work hard and be awesome and study the bars and know what a D is versus a C. It's just whatever. That's not what I mean. I mean, what are some real, besides hard work and effort, what are some real challenges, like buying reeds, for example, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but like stuff like that, like choosing their first saxophone or choosing their first horn or whatever, it's like, where was the critical moment that if I had some mentorship, when would I have needed it the most?
Yeah, I think it goes without saying, like, if you don't love the process and love like working on it, love to pick up the horn and sound like crap for a long time, and you don't just love that despite all of that,
bring this down.
Then you might have a little bit of a hard time.
Good.
So
perfect.
Yeah, you got to love the process, and you got to love to practice because you're going to need to do it. You gotta have an instrument that works well. I mean, I get people ask me about my gear all the time.
I mean, we'll show you the sax in a minute, guys. Yeah. But this thing is, I wouldn't buy it at a flea market. But I have no idea, and it's probably fucking $10,000 or something.
Yeah, it's
it's just like my point is,
my swear jar.
That's my swear jar. So, but it's like, I look at that and I see some wear and tear on it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And to me as a parent, how do I tell my son or daughter, maybe not a reed instrument or maybe not a trombone or a trumpet where you have to, and it's something that you have to like figure out how to learn. And I'm going to have Rico DeLargo, by the way. Thanks for everything on Saturday, dude. Love you, man. You're going to be on the show too. But, Rico is a completely different kind of person to you. You are a reed instrument.
That is true.
Versus a
brass instrument.
A brass, right.
Correct.
So I chose brass, and maybe if I didn't, my musical interests might have deviated to a different direction. So I guess I'm not asking if a 16-year-old should be making choices based upon mentorship, but really it's like, maybe, Jason, what I'm asking is, can you give us some parental advice? Because I think nobody who is 16 is watching this podcast, but I think there's a lot of 45-year-olds watching this podcast, and they have 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that want to be involved, that meet the boy or the girl of their dreams, and they're in band, and one time at band camp, that kind of stuff. It's like, like what. And I don't know what kind of retention or what kind of like attrition is happening in the band, the marching band community.
It's tough.
But do you think that marching band is number one with a bullet? Like that is the best place to learn a brass, reed, or a drum?
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, if you're in school, and you're learning through like traditional band program, like you're kind of forced to keep up to at least some certain criteria. You're getting a grade, you've got some work to do. You've got to perform to some certain level. There's always competition internally.
But this isn't learning a language. And I don't.
No. I'm sorry, but it's 1,000% learning a language.
Really?
You speak it, you communicate with other musicians with it. You can write it. You can analyze it like you would analyze a poem. It is very much a language as much as any other written speech is a language, without a doubt. I believe that wholeheartedly. Sorry to contradict you there.
First time on the show, everybody. Here we go. First time I've been put in my place. folks. No, I never would have imagined that it's the same.
It's there's a lot of parallels there. Absolutely.
Especially in high school.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? The funny thing is I never studied any foreign language in high school. Somehow I got through high school and got a college degree without ever studying any foreign language. So my foreign language is music.
Wow. What an eloquent way to put things.
Well, thank you.
So before I show everyone what you do,
okay,
what do you do? I mean, you know, you're a saxophonist, and if you want to hire Jason to play saxophone while you walk down the aisle, give me a call. I'll book it. Okay? I'll take 20% off the 20% that Sleeping Giant's going to take too. And I promise that you will have the best possible saxophone player you have in San Diego, Orange, Riverside, and LA County.
Yeah.
And what's Imperial too.
Sure.
Not that they're fucking calling up for us. Anyway, the point is,
Yeah, another chip.
Good.
Another chip.
Thank you for keeping me in check.
Keeping you honest there.
Mom, sorry. Anyway, Jason, it's really difficult for me to describe what you do. What is your elevator pitch?
Well, okay, so I'm a saxophone player, but you know, my main platform really lately is working with DJs in a live performance atmosphere. So, you know, you go to a club and you hear a DJ and he's playing, you know, all the hits, and, you know, credit to all the good DJs out there who understand how to put a great set list together and the skills to, you know, to mix and the knowledge to have the hottest tracks and everything like that. So, you know, you've got that experience, but, you know, my goal is to add something that is unique and different every time. So, you know, I'm there and I'm improvising. I'm literally just playing over whatever the DJ puts on. And I tell everybody that I work with, every DJ, because I work with a lot of different guys and gals, that, you know, you do your thing. Your job is keeping that dance floor on pace and, you know, keeping them jumping, and then I will follow you. And so that's what I do. So I try to just enhance and like add to the
enhancer.
vibe. Yeah, you could say that. Kind of like the Viagra in music.
I'm glad I stayed on that angle for a minute. In case you missed it, this guy plays over DJ music. So he missed the elevator pitch that I've been trying to force people to do. So Jason, we got to work on your elevator pitch.
All right, we'll work on that.
Let's try it again. What do you do? I play saxophone super professionally. I have a master's degree in like music theory, and by the way, basically I just let the DJs do their thing, and then they give me kind of a mic, and then maybe the club will let me play. That's a terrible elevator pitch.
Like that. All right, we'll work on that.
No, that's okay. No, I mean, you have to kind of make an assumption when I have a host on the show. You have to make an assumption that somebody knows who you are before they tune in. But at the same time, I'd like to kind of be a little bit blissfully ignorant.
Got it.
I guess to kind of enhance the show's vibe. I have the video that we worked on. Yeah. Are you comfortable with me?
You know what? I love that. That thing has really stood the test of time. I love it.
Really?
Yeah. You know, you do an amazing job. I'm still as
6
proud of it
years
as I was
ago?
back. Yeah, I know. I can't. There you go, dude.
6 years ago.
I can't believe it's been that long. I still use it. I love
you
it.
push this every other week.
Yeah, it's great work, dude. You killed it.
Let's take a peek.
All right, let's see this thing.
I'm gonna get killed on whatever. I'll get killed on copyright anyway. Sarah.
That was a hard rock right there.
Oh, hard rock, yeah.
That's Sarah.
And you travel with a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Jason Whitmore. I'm a saxophone player.
Yes, of course you are.
Have this, absolutely.
So this is not a green screen, folks. Back in 2014, we didn't have that technology, so I had to like
really clicked that I could
Get a
do something like this
47-foot
was,
tall
on a trip to
LED
Vegas,
screen
and, my
to
wife and I were
display
at a
what I
club,
wanted.
and I saw a saxophone
great,
player
that's great.
playing with
That
a
wasn't
DJ,
hard.
and it
This is
never
my
occurred to me
favorite
that
quote.
a band instrument could fit into that, and it was amazing, and the people loved it. And my wife said, "Well, you could do that better than him." Anyway, I was fortunate that I had.
You can do it better than that.
Thank
I
you.
could go out and just kind of start sitting in and playing and sort of testing this new combination out, and I fell in love with it.
Look at that. There's how many people are there?
10,000.
And this track is you and who? Shoni. Who played? This is you playing over the
That's
track.
me playing over Calvin Harris track.
Calvin Harris. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely getting dinged.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's worth the copyright.
Yes. We'll take it.
People react when they see a live instrumentalist performing, because it's something
Dude, you
they
look
can visually
exactly the
grasp
same.
onto. I mean, the energy. in the
Mom,
music
you be the judge.
Is there, but then
This
when
guy
you-
look the
when
same?
you add
What do
that
you think?
live element, it's ever changing.
It's the bald head.
It's gonna be unique
Keep-
every
Yeah,
time.
it
Keeps-
saves everything.
Yeah. It
That's-
shaves
that's-
years.
That's what people are really looking for.
Keeps
and
that
club
age
experts are
ambiguous.
Looking for something different.
And those nice graphics I provided.
Beautiful. Love it.
So I think that kind of showcases like what you do. I think.
Yeah.
Do you think? Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah. That's kind of it in a nutshell. Yeah.
How do you convince a club owner to hire you, or how do you convince a
I show
DJ to
them
tour
your
with you?
video.
Really?
Yes. I show them your video, and they're like, "Hell yes."
This is not a sponsorship, by the way. And you should tell them it took us like 6 months probably of different coordination. And
Yeah.
then we have the Leger Reads, which you guys can look up, the Leger Reed commercial, which is broadcast on YouTube. It's fantastic.
That was an amazing job.
And it's still running.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're Canadians, and we did a Canadian show 2 days ago, and those guys are
No, they love that. They love that piece, and they pushed it super hard. And it's been
So
amazing.
what's the difference with Leger Reeds? Like, what is that? Those are they're synthetic.
Yeah. So
We're not getting paid here, folks. This is like legitimate. Like, I need to know what the hell this is, and I already know, but I'm describing it to you. Okay, but Leger, we're open to sponsorships, folks. I'm sure that you would love to renew this. I swear to God, I'll drop the F-bombs. I won't drop the F-bombs if it, I know you guys are Canadian, so it's important. But these are synthetic reeds. So,
Yeah.
may I touch?
Of course. Yeah. Here, take one.
So,
Yeah. So
this would normally be like a wooden.
Normally they're made
carved out.
from cane, from bamboo, basically.
It's bamboo.
Is what traditional woodwind reeds are made from.
Mm-hmm.
And so these guys make them out of like a very specifically engineered plastic, and they're milled to like super fine dimensions and
I mean,
strengths.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but he's got like this crazy case. I mean, the case looks like that looks like a $200 bamboo case. That's what that looks like. Well, I'm sure they've, taken care of you on that. But I mean, the reflective glass. It's like, is that the presentation you get from them?
No,
Or is that your case?
Actually, this case came from my mouthpiece sponsor. That's a whole nother group, Theowani. Yeah, they make amazing mouthpieces. But yeah. No, Leger's taken great care of me for several years now. I've been playing these reeds exclusively, and I mean, they perform at like an amazing level. So they're for somebody who like would normally wear out a typical cane reed in a single night.
I mean, you are crazy. You play 2 or 3 a night sometimes. I remember you telling me you had a Saturday where you had a 6, a 9, and a midnight.
Yeah, that happens. And I would on like a typical cane reed, I would burn through one in a gig and then be on to the next. And so these things last me months at a time. And so to a normal person that doesn't play as hard as me, they'll last 6 months.
6 months.
Easily, yeah.
Where a typical cane reed would be a gig, 1 gig.
Yeah, for me, I'll blow it out, and it's kind of like
Are you a hard player?
Yeah, I mean, I
you
think
play
so.
hard.
Yeah, I play hard. I play loud. I play high. It's a lot of like it's a lot of strain on the reed, and cane it's a natural fiber.
Thing,
I mean, it's
of
a piece
course,
of wood
yeah.
basically. So
And there's weaknesses that you don't even know molecularly that will happen, and you don't understand why your reed failed. And it's just like, hey man, it was just a bad chord.
Band kids get it. I mean, they like, it happens. It splits, it gets waterlogged, it just gets old, and no, these things are like bulletproof. Yeah. So that's what I need. That's all I'll use ever.
So back to this club guy.
Yeah.
That wants to hire you. He's already spent $500 on this DJ. Whoever it is. Shoney, for example. It was yesterday.
I bet Shoney charges more than that.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Shoney. I mean, it's a $1,000 DJ.
I pay Shoney more than that when I hire him. So I understand. I'm assuming he won't play for less than that.
Well, politics, ballpark pricing and budget aside, how do you convince somebody that you're necessary? I mean, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, dude.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I really am just asking an honest question as a club owner. If I'm putting myself in a hypothetical, like, why would I spend an extra
That's a legit
$500?
question. Well, so first of all, it's, clubs have had DJs forever. And so I'm not trying to say that, like, DJs can't be unique and amazing and worth, every penny that they get. But these days, I mean, a club's got to stand out. They've got to have something different. They got to be unique, and they've got to be special. And there's not going to be a whole lot of guys like me doing what I do along with the DJ. So it's a package. It's unique. And look, even if you have me, then like the next time you have me, it's still going to be different. And so that's the whole point, is that you got to have a unique experience every time so it doesn't get stale.
What I see in that video is I see you come out to this cheering. And I don't think that people get that. I don't think people get when they're listening to a DJ and then a guitarist or a trumpet player like Rico or a fucking
there you go,
saxophone player like yourself comes out, and that I didn't edit that. Like, you raised your saxophone in the air, and the entire place.
Well, that's the thing is like is still
they
people,
blew up.
Well, they don't expect it. Like to this day, as long as I've been doing this for 15 plus years now, and to this day, every time I play, somebody's like, "What the?" Like,
how was this not sold to me?
I had no idea.
How was that sold? How was it not sold to me?
Right.
That's what's so frustrating. Is it's like, was this a thing that just wasn't sold?
Yeah. Well, it's getting there. It's. I think we're catching up, and I think clubs and promoters are starting to figure out that they've got to stand out. They've got to have some other extra element, and that the DJ is a given. You got to have a great DJ, and he's going to have a following. She is going to have a following.
Sound system is a given.
But and sound
and I don't really need the DJ. I need a sound system first. Anyway, that's a subject for another day. But
Exactly.
what I'm saying is, like, you are telling me these astronomical claims. Whoops. Astronomical claims, folks. I can't even make it big enough. Okay? This guy is saying that he can just come in and he doesn't have to tell the DJ what to play, ever. You're saying. You were saying that you can come into a club.
Yeah.
And
that's how we roll. Like the DJ, the DJ's job has to be, focus on the dance floor, keep those people dancing, keep the vibe alive. And, I'm not going to be the diva that comes in and says, look, you got to play my list and you got to do it this way and this way. Look, no, the DJ's got, they're obligated to keep that energy going.
Right.
And so I just have to be versatile. And that's kind of what I sell, I guess, if you want to say that, is that, I try to be versatile. So whoever I'm playing with, whatever the club vibe is like, I'm just going to be the chameleon and kind of work around that. And I'm going to enhance what's already happening and make it even more unique and make it different. And the next time I do it, even with everything else the same, I'm going to do it differently.
you have that much confidence that you could just go and play against every DJ.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Did you like my intro song?
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like a little like an '80s vibe. But you know what? I almost feel like a Stranger Things.
It's closer
kinda...
to late '80s. I'm supposed to be.
that's true.
I want it to be like 87 to 91 before hairband became a thing.
True.
Before Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
Do you think that you could play against this track? Like here, I'll play it for you. I'll play it for you. Just,
Yeah, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
I mean, it's pretty standard 4/4.
Yeah.
Right?
I could.
Yeah.
Should I try?
Well, I know you got the sax. I know you. I wanted you to play a thing, but here, why don't you get that up? Why don't you bring that up there? Because I need to see. First of all, I want everybody to see how worn down this thing is. Okay. Show them the bell. Is that what you call it? The bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This side thing. So tell us a little bit about the sax. Do you have a name for it?
No.
Does it have a name?
Well, this is.
Aren't you supposed to name a sax like a boat?
No? Yeah, it's not like my Betty Jane, whatever you want to. No, it's my. It's a Selmer Mark VII. It's a vintage instrument made by Selmer Paris saxophones, who I also endorse, by the way. And I just fortunately this happens to be the horn that I got when I was in the 8th grade. My parents didn't necessarily know. They probably got some guidance from my band director, but they surprised me with this instrument.
So
and,
eighth grade.
Yeah.
At the risk of dating you, just give me the 5 years. Give me a 5-year range, like around 1985.
Yeah, this was in the mid 80s. Yeah, actually.
Okay. So around 1985, some band director said, you're talented enough that your parents should spend something on the order of this particular saxophone to the point that you're still using it to this day.
Yeah, like I said, it was a great horn then, and it just turns out that it's kind of one of the instruments that like professional sax players like go back to. It's one of those vintage instruments that's stood the test of time, and that other manufacturers try to copy.
It looks really worn, man.
It is. Well, it's got some soul. It's been around. It's been on the road. It's been in some seedy places, and it's.
But isn't that the whole thing?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, how do you feel about blues, man?
Are you kidding me? I grew up playing.
I know.
Blues.
Hey, put that sax down for a minute. I want to talk about G.E. Smith and the Saturday Night Live band.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I freaking love Saturday Night Live.
All right.
I remembered, like, my dad would let me stay up when I was a kid, probably like 10, and that was like the one night, of course, I could stay awake late, and I would watch that with him, and I would always do my best to stay awake through the end credits just to see Lenny Pickett, he's the sax player, just to see him play that solo on those closing credits. And to this day, like, I will watch every second of the closing credits just to hear him play.
Is he still playing?
He's still, yeah,
G.E. Smith is dead, right?
I don't know if he's dead. G.E. Smith was the guitar player, was the former leader.
He's the
and now
was he composer, or he's just a band leader?
Well, he was the band leader for Saturday Night Live. I don't know the rest of his like history.
Yeah.
But he was.
Who's the guy on Tonight Show? The big puff guy with the big glasses, Jimmy Fallon. What is that guy's name?
Oh, Questlove.
Questlove. Right.
I got to open up for the Roots one time. Yeah, at the Belly Up a long time ago. That was an amazing show.
Am I not qualified to interview you? But anyway, like Questlove, G.E. Smith. I think that there's a lot of people who don't know who that is, and that's why I want to say Questlove is a echo of G.E. Smith.
Well,
yes,
he's the band. He's band leader of like late night TV.
Right.
And that's
But G.E. Smith was that guy too.
G.E. Smith was that guy for like the earlier years. I don't quote me on the exact time frame, but for Saturday Night Live, like the earlier years, and then the sax player. Again, for me, because I'm a sax player, so that's what I hear. Lenny Pickett is his name,
right.
And who's also a Selmer player. And so Lenny Pickett is the current leader and has been for a while. And he's still the guy, the sax player at the end, when they're like, good night, thank you for everything.
Right.
And they roll the credits and there's that just amazing soulful sax solo.
But the importance of live saxophone playing in Saturday Night Live is Americana. I mean, that's like Americana. Like when I tune in, thanks everybody, yeah, and everybody's lined up. Right?
Yeah.
I expect I'm hearing real, live, legitimate saxophone.
Oh yeah. There's so much soul in that music. Yeah. And again, like a huge influence of mine.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you being a 9.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're actually a saxophonist, saxophonist. What's the correct?
Saxophonist, yeah.
Saxophonist.
Yeah.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, you were a 9.3. Okay,
You're kind. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you deserve it. But on that scale, what do you think Bill Clinton was?
Ooh.
I know it's disgusting to even think about it, but I mean, like that guy was like sold as like a
I don't
saxophone
know.
player.
I just, you know what? I can remember picturing him playing. I honestly can't even remember what he sounded like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was just something I wanted to ask. Do you think kids pay attention to Saturday Night Live? Do you think they see, like, where are they getting the urge to go to saxophone?
To play saxophone? Where are they getting? You know what? The funny thing is that there's
a lot of females play sax.
Oh, sure. Like, yeah, there's a lot that I know, but there's fortunately more and more, kind of like what I'm doing, more saxophone in like popular music, dance music. I mean, that's the great thing about the instrument, and like, thank God somehow like I gravitated to that instrument because it's like stood the test of time. It's one of those things that is so versatile in every style of music. I mean, you can think about it. You can think saxophone in jazz. You can think about it in blues. But like right now, you can turn on like the most like popular like dance streaming channel on Spotify right now and hear like a most current popular tune with a saxophone solo in it. Like it's that versatile. I mean, it fits the entire spectrum.
I think saxophone has a lot of popularity, but at the same time, I feel like saxophone is not really understood.
Well, yeah. It's not
a guitar.
It's not a guitar.
Yeah.
Everybody can't play it. It's a huge learning curve. So, yeah, compared to the guitar or the piano or, these days with everything just coming straight off of a laptop, there's a bigger learning curve. So it's a little fewer and far between when you compare it to those instruments.
All right, I'm gonna put you to the test here. Okay, your Leger reeds warmed up?
Yeah. Well, they don't need warming up. That's what's cool about it.
Just bring it up. Bring it over here. I gotta add a little reverb.
All right.
Maybe we can do a live test here.
Let's try it.
Let me start this. Let me stop this so I can actually hear what you're saying or doing. Okay. Let me put the reverb on here.
Check.
Ooh.
1, 2.
Cool.
That's some cool reverb.
Sounds. See, I'm not reverbed, but you are. Okay.
I sound like I'm in a cave.
Well, that's the idea, right? All right, so let me play a few bars so I can get the levels right. Yeah, that's good. Do you like that? I can make it more. No, keep playing a few bars, bro. That's super sexy, dude. Are you satisfied with that reverb?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, now I'm gonna challenge you.
Are you gonna put something for me to play on?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that. Can you do my theme music? Because it's stock music and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Put whatever.
Seriously, you're gonna play over my theme music?
What?
Because it might become the new theme music.
Well, hey, if you're gonna.
Okay, all right, buddy. All right, okay, here we go. All right, I'm gonna play it. I'm just gonna play it. It's just audio.
Let's see what you got.
All right. All right. Yeah, get yourself loose. I'm gonna put this shot on. All right. Is this too loud? Or you tell me. I'll do the mixing. Just Whoa. That's exhausting. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, let me dump the effects. Go ahead. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dude.
That's fun. That's a cool little groove, man. Is that
We need to talk after the show, man. That's
all right?
impressive.
All right. We will work on your next next
My
version
next
of
intro?
Yeah.
Oh, I just gotta give myself a minute there. Dude, you were pulling notes I didn't even know, like even from my G.E. Smith. What's the guy's name? Sorry.
Lenny Pickett.
Lenny Pickett.
is the
Sorry,
sax
I don't want to
player.
give
That's okay.
G.E. Smith the credit.
Well, he was the guitar player. Lenny Pickett was the sax player. Is the sax player.
Right.
Yeah.
Still. Okay. But man, you could just fall right into that. You could be on freaking Saturday Night Live stage right now.
Hey, I'll take it. Let's do that.
Dude, that was okay. If you're watching my show, I'm gonna cut that out and make a little clip. But if you're watching this on the clip, you better watch the full show. But man,
I'm telling you, it's just like, like we were talking earlier about.
so that's what he does, by the way. So I just literally gave him a track.
Never
And he
heard it before.
Never heard it before, except for maybe if I gave him a pre-show or you saw the whatever.
Yeah.
You could find it. It's a stock video, photo, or stock audio. But dude, I mean, you were pushing that sax to the limit. You didn't even warm up.
No. I mean, like I said, the reeds, for example, don't take any warming up. And it's just like we were talking earlier about the analogy to a foreign language or to any written, spoken, communicated language. Like music is just that. And
It's just like you started talking.
well, that was a great example.
whatever.
Like you started a conversation and I just was speaking along with you. And just like we're talking right now, I just spoke in that language instead. It just happens to require that device, the saxophone. But yeah, it's just a language. And eventually, you get to learn the vocabulary, you get to listen and sort of predict. Like you can start a sentence and about halfway through, I kind of know what you're about to say. You start a track and a couple, about 4 bars in, I'm like, okay, I know what to expect now. And now I know how to communicate with it. And so when I'm playing with the DJ, that's really the trick. And this is what's really different, of course I play with live musicians and I love playing in bands and I've done that my whole life and everything
DJs
too.
that don't quite get music sometimes. I mean, I'm not gonna be. Look, producers are producers.
Right.
Okay? They figure out a good riff that they played on something like this, a MIDI controller, or whatever that you can get for $50, which is the best value possible on the planet right now. Is this M Audio little?
Yeah.
What's that called? Oh, the Key Station 32.
I have the bigger version of that, the M Audio.
Right,
actually,
and Brian has some amazing stuff behind us here, but because he's a producer. But the point is, you play the riff, beep boop boop boop, or whatever it is, and then you and then you match everything and you understand. But it's like, are you sure you want to put a key E track into a key C track? And the software tells you are on the wrong key, brother. None of this is gonna work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for you to just be able to just,
Well,
I mean, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Do you have any idea how fucking incredible that is? It's
There you
totally.
Well,
Do you have any idea how incredible what you just did is?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, I don't think people get that.
I'll put it in terms that everybody does understand because we all speak some language and a lot of us multiple languages.
It's just like, oh, you just started speaking
just a
English.
conversation. Like you're not even conscious of forming the words and the vocabulary. It literally just flows, just like we're flowing. I mean, we didn't write anything that we're talking about right now. We're just having a natural conversation. And so I'm having a natural conversation with the track that's playing, with whatever's going on. And so it takes, the same kind of fundamental knowledge, like in speaking English, like you've got to know your words, you got to know how to spell. And as you get older, you start to understand sentence structure. And then as you get older, you start to understand
little
like
nuances.
deeper, the nuances and the meanings and sort of the context. Context is a big thing. And so all of those things that we sort of take for granted because it's just language and it just flows right out of us completely apply to what I'm doing when I'm playing with any musician or a pre-recorded track or a DJ. So I'm listening to the context, I'm listening to the language, the key that they're playing in. I'm listening for repetition, and I'm finding spaces that I can fit in between there. And one of the philosophies about the way that I do this, which is different that I see some other instrumentalists that play with DJs, is that I do everything I can to try to add something that's not already there. The easy thing to do would be to listen to the track and learn that melody and then play that melody along.
I've seen that a lot.
And that's just boring. Like, who wants to do that? I'm going to say it. It's boring as fuck. There you go. Here's your chip.
I got you.
Please don't do that. Okay. If anybody is listening to this and they're like, I want to play with DJs and I want to, I play whatever instrument. Okay. But well, eventually they are. They're pulling this out of the archives.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 2033, and they found this on some
and you're
time capsule.
Literally leading the Saturday Night Live band, and you're like,
they're like, look, that's when that guy was like nobody, and yeah.
Dude,
no, but seriously, if you're if you're gonna do this, find a space in between the notes, in between the melodies, and create something that's unique and add something different to the track. And then people will go, shit, I've heard this song, but never heard it like that. Like, that is the best compliment. If somebody tells me,
I have never heard my own track played like that. In fact, I'd like maybe we can license, or I can license or something from you that. Well, maybe we record after this.
We'll work it out. I'd be honored. If you carry my song and it ends up being on the rest of your...
I will run it every day. If you spend some time with me after the show, I will run this tomorrow before. Well, I don't know if I can edit it in, but I will run it Friday and on.
I got you, dude. I got you, bro. I got you. I'm honored.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
The fact that. I don't think that people who haven't played a musical instrument, I don't think that you guys get it. I don't think you understand how difficult it is. And I don't think that when you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that you and me, I was a drummer forever, but we don't have to think 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a feeling.
3.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
It's just in you.
And you give it, and you see, do you listen to Tedeschi Trucks?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, I'll show you after the show.
All right.
Blues is the future. Blues is the new rock, for sure. Because
blues is that's my fundamentals. I grew up in Texas. I mean, that's my first working gigs were in a blues band.
Right, but I think that as millennials get older, as millennials get in the 30s. I think that blues,
it'll cycle like anything.
There's twice as many millennials as there are boomers. So, and boomers were just getting into blues. But now, let me just play these Tedeschi Trucks.
All right.
After the show, and I think you'll get it. And I think what's so great about saxophones is that it's such a raw instrument, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, I love the fact that there's so much nuance to it.
It's a saxophone playing. It's a saxophone.
Well, and it's almost impossible to really sample and make
That's the other thing I was gonna say.
And make synthetic without at least most people noticing. There's nothing I hate worse than somebody producing a track and putting a synthetic saxophone in there because it sounds so lame. It's so super obvious.
Sounds lame. It sounds porn star. Porn video or whatever.
Yeah, like Showtime, Skinemax,
Skinemax,
soft porn
9 in the
style.
morning. Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Not that I would know anything about that, but yes, of course.
Jason, wow. So much amazing stuff already. But you have this passion you've had for a long time. You are a BMX fan? Am I wrong about this?
Yeah. Well, I've every kid, had a BMX bike when they were kids, and I just kind of never stopped riding mine, I guess you could say.
You never stopped riding?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's my,
let me find the one we'll talk about that later.
yeah.
All right, so check this out here. Let's pull it up. Look at this. Look at you. This is you.
That's me.
A damn near 50-year-old.
Yep. That's like
Little pause.
just the other day, yeah.
So this is the stuff I watched on like X Games when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And you just did this like last weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at that skate park all the time. Yeah, I've always been more interested in like the extreme sports than anything, and I guess
Look at that.
It's just sort of stuck with me. Not bad
right,
for an
so-
old guy, right?
Yeah, you saw. Let's talk about old guy. Let's talk about this here. Let me pull this up. Look at this. Okay, look at you. Let me make this bigger. Look at that. How old are you? How old are you in this photo?
Oh my God. Let me think. Okay. So shout out to my best friend, Aaron Fort. I'm going to send you this just so you see this video on this interview. But yeah, so this is my best friend's house at his mom's house. And
No helmet.
no helmet, no shirt, no pads. I'm barely wearing anything but like the tiniest, like tightest little OP shorts. And yeah, my dad helped me build those ramps, and that's like nothing. We used to spread those like into like almost twice that gap. In fact, you see the car in the garage, that's my friend's mom.
Yeah, it looks like an old Buick Riviera or something.
I don't remember what it was.
Well,
but
it's 3 lights, so it's definitely General Motors.
yeah, so we used to jump over that car on these ramps. That was my friend's mom's car, and we would,
And are these BMX bikes down here, or are they just?
yeah, that's my friend Aaron's bike right there, underneath there, and yeah.
Wow, dude. And then you have. Let me open this up. Oh, that's the same thing. Let me just get here real quick. Sorry, guys. Here it is. Okay. So this is your new prospect now? You're going to be a trapeze artist. You're just going to... Can you play the saxophone while you do this?
You know what? I'm going to have to figure out a way, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is... woo.
Dude, okay, so that's got to be an incredible feeling to be able to do something like that.
So go figure. There's actually a trapeze training facility that's in Escondido, and
Wow.
I found out about it a while ago, and went and checked it out, and I just got hooked. It was so fun, and like you don't actually have to be you don't have to be like some kind of crazy acrobat athlete to do it. Like they have like old people, they have like 8-year-olds, they have like every walk of life that just come, and like you can do one. It's just, and again, I'm not getting paid, but it's called Trapeze High, just so you know, like the high school Trapeze High.
Oh, wow. Is it
And-
like a charter school or something?
No, it's just literally like a
It's
trapeze
like a vocational
training
school.
It's just a trapeze training facility.
Gotcha.
And so you go and you can just anybody can walk off the street, sign up for one class in 90 minutes. Like you're swinging off that thing, you're doing a backflip into the net, and you're swinging and getting caught by the other guy, like on the catcher. And then like you can do all that like literally in 90 minutes. And if you think you can't, like sack up, go try it. I urge everybody. It is the coolest, funnest experience. Totally different. So yeah, so I tried it a while ago, and then I got hooked, and I've been going a bunch, and yeah, it's super fun. I'm going. I just booked my next class for a couple weeks.
So as a man who has just come into his 40s myself, what kind of recommendations would you give me? I mean, you're a very fit man, my friend.
I try.
And you're almost 9 years my senior. So what would you suggest I do? Besides the obvious, obviously, watch your sugars, watch your sodas, watch your stuff like that. I mean, what's the one thing that's kept you dipping into that fountain of youth?
Yeah. Well,
Shave the head.
I guess yeah.
Shave the head. I mean,
that helps.
Let's look. This makes me look literally ancient. That, and it's not styled, of course, but yeah, it's. So what's the secret?
I mean, there's. I wish there was just one thing. You You got to eat mostly right. You know, you got to be happy.
Are you weird? Are you vegan or something?
No, God, no. Oh, God, I love my meat. I love red meat. There's nothing more than I love than like a good steak.
What about like
and
intermittent
whiskey.
Yeah. What about intermittent fasting or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, I pretty much eat 3 meals a day. But you know what? Like I get up and I go to the gym first thing in the morning. As hard as it is sometimes to get up, I've kind of made myself a morning person. So I could get up, get the gym, knock it out so it's off my plate for the rest of the day. I don't have to think about it. And then, you know, breakfast is a protein shake. So it's like
I guess then you're kind of intermittent fasting. Because you're getting like 300 calories in that shake.
Yeah.
And then you don't eat until
lunch.
2, 1, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like noon. Yeah, and then I'll have a salad or a small sandwich or something, you know. And then like sort of a reasonable dinner. And then the weekends, chicken and waffles, bring it, you know. But yeah, during the week, you know, I kind of have a busy schedule anyway, which is kind of helpful because it doesn't give you time to think about,
to be
like,
bored.
Man, I could use a bag of Cheetos right now. You know, so yeah, when you keep busy and you've got like goals and like stuff you got to get done and everything, and you just keep on a schedule, then eating well just fits right into that schedule and you don't think about it.
Yeah.
So that probably helps, you know, just being busy and being focused on other things than like what you're craving.
As you move into your next decade, again, I won't obviously point it out. If people want to do the math, they can. But they'd have to find my name. Well, anyway, I'm not going to point it out. Anyway, my point is, as you move into your next decade, do you feel like you're do you feel like I don't perceive you as over the hill. I don't.
Thank you.
Okay, but what I'm saying as far as career-wise, because I'm just starting a journey that I should have started a decade ago.
Yeah,
I should have been doing this
I get your point,
a long time ago. You have always been doing your dream. So now that you're matured in that dream and you're making the money and you're being able to do stuff like you just did, that's insane.
Thanks.
No, I don't think I don't think people get it. I don't think people know how easy that is for you.
Well, it's. I mean, it wasn't easy to get to that point. It's like what you know.
Folks, this isn't easy either. Okay, so if you think you're gonna start Turbo's podcast 5 days a week, okay, for 3 straight weeks so far, and not turn crazy, you call me when you do it. Okay, yeah. My point is, folks. My point is that when you find somebody who is a true natural like yourself.
Thank you.
You really are. You're a true natural.
I appreciate that.
And for you to be able to play over my song, I mean, it's just like, I want you to make my song ours so that I can share it with everybody.
I love that.
And I can put you on every single credit.
We're going to do that. That's I love that.
Please, can we get some time after this?
100%.
Is that okay? And if
100%.
I have to have you back, that's okay. If you don't have time today, but folks, like, you have to get that this guy is like a diamond in the rough. You know, that new, have you watched the new Aladdin? No?
Oh, no.
The one with Will Smith?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
But you remember the old one when we were kids, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So the diamond in the rough, right? So that's like, you are that guy.
Thank you. Well, you know.
Where can we find your stuff? Where can we follow you? What is the best way that this show can make, besides the stuff we talked about off air, what is the best thing that someone who's watching this show can do for you?
I'm super active on all my social media. So whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, it's Jason on Sax.
Jason on Sax.
Super
simple.
Just follow me there and pretty much everything will be there. I mean,
that's the same thing. And that's the one thing I want to recommend to those of you who are watching my podcast for marketing advice. The best thing you can do, it's at TurboPhoto, at TurboPhoto, at TurboPhoto, at TurboPhoto, at TurboPhoto, at TurboPhoto, at TurboPhoto. So
consistent brand.
Once the handle becomes a thing, which it did, you know, you and I understood that back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You understood that once you got your username, that was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got to get it across every platform, and then when a new platform comes out, just go grab it, just nail it down. You know, my website happens to be my name, jasonwhitmore.com. But once I established Jason on Sax on all my social media, I own jasononsax.com.
Fantastic. How many followers you got there?
I think I'm around 12 grand or so on Instagram.
Well, he's got me beat by 4 times. And I'm just a lowly guy doing a show.
You're getting there.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea, man.
Yeah. I'm here to help, man.
Well, I found, I don't know how much you know about the show, and it's still in its infancy. So I apologize for those of you who have already heard this, but this is like a real dream for me. And this stuff is just sitting here in my studio. And if anybody needs it, you just call me up. The show is sponsored by me. You know what I mean? Like, it's sponsored by the fact that we can do stuff like this, live switched, etc., pre-record. But here's the thing. What I have seen in my past and what I have seen in people who are coworkers, alliance partners, etc., there's a lot of, like, I joke about the blue collar because it's black today, but whatever. But I joke about the blue collar. That's why there's blue behind. That's why everybody brings. Hey, can I have that read, by the way, after we're done recording? No. After we're done recording, though.
Take it.
No, not that one.
All right.
The one you played the stuff on when we record.
You can have the actual read.
That's what I want. I want that. I'm gonna
you
put
can
it on
have
the show.
Actual read. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the show. It's gonna be okay. Cool. Great.
I am honored that it is a memento for you. I appreciate that.
But thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
No, that's great.
Because I want to. This is all these things. All these things are from somewhere. Okay. But I think what's really important to people to understand is like, I'm here to share the other mysterious part of my life that nobody gets. There's not a single person who has said no when I've called them. Not a single. It's been no, like I can't do it next week. But it's like,
you get it done.
When do we do? Well, I'm booking in March 18th. What do you think? So like that's great. But the idea of the whole thing, guys, I'm not doing this. Yes, I am doing it for free, but I'm doing it so that these people, you know what I mean? That these people are understood and they get the grind. And I think you have to understand that when maybe you have a different generation telling you to pull up your bootstraps and do, just send more resumes out. And, It's just like, you're not going to hear that advice. You're not going to hear the right advice. This is the right advice. Shoney yesterday, Jason today, you guys need to understand that, like, consistency is key, being dependable is key, and putting something out there that no one has seen before, like Shoney, like Eric, like Ivan, like Rob with his sandwiches and his radio appearance, and Gardenia with the Pride. It's just everything that's happened in the last couple weeks. I just absolutely appreciate everyone who's listening to me right now. But I cannot do it without my co-hosts. And today, I've got a great co-host. And I was just wondering if there is a chance that you could play us out.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah? Do you think you could do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah? All right.
Let's do it. All right.
I'm gonna let you play. I gotta see if that reverb's still working. Reverb is still working? Is that good?
There you go.
Good? All right. I guess that doesn't even need graphics, folks.
We don't need no stinking graphics.
Folks, I think that does it for us today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to leave you with silence because I believe that spoke for the whole show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.